Okay, I got my deck of Arcana cards. They look really pretty. They look awesome. Came in a package. Sorry, I opened them before. I just got them today though. I'll open the pack. These are really cool cards. I really kind of like how these come out. It has a little aluminum foil inside. It looks kind of blue. Has a letter A in there. Well, it's a compressed box. I think they punched the picture into the box, and that's the box. So I bought the dark cards, and this is my first set of these. They are really nice cards, but kind of a little spooky, some of them. Now the thing about these cards, not a lot of people know how to read them, and the people who do know how to read them, most of them, they don't really understand how to read these cards or why they pop out that way. There's a lot of little sayings from my family. There's about 4 generations that have been reading cards. We stopped reading the tarot cards. They weren't really working too well, and we started reading just normal cards that actually read a lot better. So this is actually an amalgamation of both sets of cards, which is tarot cards and normal playing cards. So they've mixed both decks together. That's why I chose this deck. I have an old set of cards that I use usually to do readings for friends and stuff like that. I don't really charge anybody. I just kind of, read them for people. And I haven't ever really been wrong, I have to say, on my readings. I don't even know some of the people I read for, and they try to ask me trick questions and stuff like that, and they still tell them the same thing 3 times over, what they're asking. And some people kind of have a gift, some people don't, I guess. And some people, you can feel it when your cards are right, and I can feel it when my cards are not right, and I'll tell them to reshuffle the deck. So I kind of like get a vibe, this weird vibe, and you can read it or not. I'll tell you, you know what, they're not mixed correctly, or do it one more time. I usually mix them 6 times, and then whatever comes out comes out. Everybody reads them different. There's no right way to read them, no wrong way to read them. So everything has its little system, but most people don't really know how to read them. I run into a lot of women who don't know how to read them. They just kind of like guessing or whatever, but they can't really read them. So this is the full deck. So that's why a lot of people go to those people. They're like, well, you didn't read my cards. They didn't really come out right. And they're like, well, that's what they said. Yeah, but you're not really feeling them, They're just like pretending that they really know what they're doing, but they really don't. But they have this old rugged look to them, like this dirty look to the cards. So I like these. I'm gonna try these out. I'm gonna go get these blessed and see what happens with these, because you don't know how to bless them right, or you don't know how to you bless them by talking to like entities and things like that in nature. You don't bless them by putting holy water on them or nothing like that, or taking them to church. You have to go be by yourself, talk to the earth, and don't ask it for anything. You don't ever ask for anything, because that gives you power over things. But still don't do that, because that's really, really bad to do that. But you feel sad and you go out there and you just want answers. That's kind of how you go and do that. But there's a lot of quacks out there, and they can make you the evil eye and stuff like that. They're good at 1 or 2 things, but they can't really help you to read these cards. And that's what really bothers me about people who read cards. They don't know what they're really doing. And like I said, I really never really been wrong when I read a deck of cards. And I've been reading cards for, jeez, how long has it been? It's been, well, I learned for a lot of years. I learned for about 16 years, and then I learned to read them myself for, I want to say I've been reading them for another 20 years. So it's been a long time I've been reading cards. But like I said, there's a lot of people who practice Wicca and this and that, and they don't know really what they're doing because they think they're in touch with stuff, but they're more in touch with their feelings than they are with nature. You're the real version of nature, which, you know, you can kind of tell. They're more like philosophical and people like that. They're not like people who are more, you know, politically correct kind of people. You ask them, you know, weird questions like, oh, do you believe in women's rights? And so, and they'll say, oh, yes, of course. And like, oh, okay, well, next, you know, that kind of people. Because really deep people will tell you, you know, I believe that people should have rights, but segregation is not correct. And they give you a really in-depth answer. Those are the people you want people to read your cards. Not these hippies that read cards and stuff, because they don't know what they're doing. They don't really know how to read them right. And they really can't understand them. So you gotta feel the cards. You gotta feel them. You gotta feel, you know, around you. You gotta be hearing things outside while you're, you know, like, you know, hear every little noise around you, every little thing about you. And it's like if you cover your eyes and your ears just open up, you know. It's like you cover your eyes and your ears and your senses open up. That's kind of how card reading actually works. And if anybody tries to read your cards and they're not like that, well, good luck, because I wouldn't believe anything they say. So, you know, but there's a lot of people who can do you bad luck, you know, for making videos of telling them they don't know how to read their cards, you know, because they're very spiritual people, and, you know, they have something, but they don't have this. So, you know, just because they can do one or two things doesn't mean they can do everything. It's kind of like a dumb luck kind of trick. Sometimes it does work, you know. Some people who can read them, a few of them will come out right, and then the rest of them will be wrong, or half and half, or, you know. So with those people, maybe just believe like half of it, and the other half, you know, kind of do it again or a third time, you know, just to double check. Because when you fold the cards, every time you're kind of reading your luck or what was meant to be in your future. So if you fold it a wrong way, it's gonna read it wrong, or, you know, even your translator for the cards could be wrong. But like I said, you gotta feel the cards. Wherever you divided them, that's where your luck's supposed to be. So, and then you put it over, you know, that's where your luck was meant to be. Slice it back in half. See, if a card jumps like that, there's a saying about that. It's trying to tell you something. Maybe you should put these on the top before you're reading, because, you know, or when you're folding a set of cards and they fly out of your hands, it means it either doesn't want to tell you something that you're gonna ask, because it knows, or they're supposedly supposed to know what you're gonna ask. I can't say that, you know, they know, because they'll sound like a crackpot, you know. But they're supposedly supposed to know what you want to ask. So if you kind of mix them till you feel happy or satisfied, you know. See, they're just sliding everywhere, which is probably because they're brand new. But there's actually things that want to come out on those cards. So like I said, when a deck of cards flies out, it's trying to tell you something. Try to put those on the top and read what they do. They slip out of your hands, it means something you don't want to know. They pop out of your hands, it's something that wants to come out fast. There's a bunch of little signals you got to read up when you're doing the cards. It's not just about the symbols. So how they fall upside down, it can mean something that, you know, you're unable to see. They fall right side up, it means something that you're witnessing, you know. There's a bunch of little things like that, and that was weird because my daughter's cell phone just turned on by itself. What is going on? Check that out, it turned on by itself. It just started playing music all on its own.
YouTube notifying things.
YouTube's, it's just, that was creepy. The phone just turned on all on its own, and it wasn't ringing, it just turned on and started playing some weird music. Yeah, that's how you know, something either doesn't want me to tell you this information, or something's around here and wants me to read my own cards. I gotta pick up on a lot of things like that. I was just talking about them, and just things just started freaking me out. So, that's happened for the past few nights. I don't know why in July it's a lot more stronger. I don't know why. Maybe you should get your cards read in July 4th and July 5th. I'm sorry, July 4th through the 6th. Those are the main days that, weird stuff kind of happens around my area. There's no timer on that phone. There's no nothing on that phone, so it's weird that it does that. And it doesn't do that all the time, so it's creepy. Yeah, but a lot of weird stuff happens like that when you're really in touch, or if maybe you've almost died a few times, or stuff like that. There's things that reach out to you because you were there, and that's happened to me a few times. So I don't really want to talk about that, but anyways, that's kind of how you kind of have a gift when you read the cards and they tell you, you know what, I'm gonna mess with you, but the cards don't like being messed with, and you try to ask it a stupid question, it's not gonna want to answer you, or it's not gonna tell you anything, or you could even have bad luck. So don't mess with the cards if you know a question and you're just checking to see if they're gonna come out right, because that's gonna just be bad luck. But it's kind of hard to tell if the person is a quack, whatever, but because you don't do that. But again, it's gonna mess with you and tell you stuff because it knows your character, who you are, what you're about or whatever. But again, these are really beautiful cards. Now I'm actually gonna mix the tarot cards with the normal cards, so I can actually read a lot more into them now. So we're gonna play around with these cards for a while and see how they work. I just got a normal deck. I also ordered the box set, so if you want to order the box set, if you're really into it, you can get the same information from one deck that you can from the large deck. So it's not gonna really change too much. I'll probably tell you a little more information, but the question you were gonna ask was always gonna be asked, so it knows. They kind of know. You can feel when something's around you. And I don't read my cards until from 6 o'clock to midnight. Anything after that is kind of not good. But those are the clock. 6 p.m. to midnight is the hours that you should only read cards, I think. If you do it in the morning, it ain't gonna give you a good thing. Your energy's got to be pretty high, and so studying this stuff, learning about this stuff is, either you know it or you don't know it. It's not something you're gonna really learn too much about. Besides reading them, you're mostly gonna feel the cards when they feel right. If they don't feel right, they're not gonna come out. So like I said, I really never really been wrong, and you're gonna have a lot of trouble finding people who will tell you that. Like, have you ever been wrong in saying cards? Like, oh, they don't come out wrong. They're gonna tell you, and it's you who. I'm like, no, you're reading them wrong, or you're not mixing them right, or it doesn't feel right. And these people don't see that, or they don't feel that. They just, kind of, they're too inverted in their mind. They can't really see things around them very much. And when you're like that, you're too much thinking in your head about stuff for yourself, or feeling happy or this or that. You gotta kind of cut most of your emotions for a while and just feel stuff. So not feelings, but people around you, things around you, the objects around you, the trees that are outside. If you're reading them outside, or if you're in a room, quiet the room down really quiet, you know. Listen to every little noise, you know. Those are the things that help you to read cards better. You can feel the cards and they're right or not right. This one's telling you like one more shuffle, but like somewhere in the middle. I don't want to shuffle them from the back. So I feel I should pull these cards out and shuffle these 6 times. See, once you come out. So when you're shuffling them, I can't do it on the camera too well because I have something next to me. You know, these want to be shuffled. I feel them. The ones that popped out, I pulled them to the sides. I'm not gonna read it. See, they won't go through. That's another sign that, you know, it wasn't meant to be. You gotta pull them out and redo them. Not redo the whole thing, but, you know, redo that. Because it wasn't supposed to happen that way. So they cut straight back in the same spot. See? And if they don't go in, they're telling you something. So that's how you do it, and that's how you read it beforehand. You gotta read every little thing, you know. So there you go. That's how you read cards. There's a lot more in depth, but you know, you might want to look into some of that stuff before. But good luck, guys. Take care.